Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you guys how to make a hotspot quiz, which is very, very helpful for many different things. But today I'm going to show you how I use that to take my attendance. Now it's not going to automatically upload your attendance into SAMS. You do still have to do it, but it does kind of give a nice visual representation if you want to go about doing so. So first things first, go into your Canvas, go under quizzes. When you click on quizzes, there will be a spot where it will allow you to hit add quiz. I'm going to click add quiz. This is where I'm going to stay away from the classic quizzes, and I'm going to go down to new quizzes. Once you select new quizzes, you're going to hit submit. It will then take you to this standard editing page. So for me, I'm going to write down the date that I would want, as well as the block that it's going to be a part of. I will then give it as a 1 point if you really wanted to, but more importantly, if you put it into display grade as, it's going to be a complete or incomplete. I just set it up as 1 point because there's technically going to be one question. But if they were to complete it, it's going to give you a check mark. If they open it and submit it, it will give you an X mark, which again still counts as a check mark in my book, because that shows that they are at least logging into it. But if it's a dash mark, it's going to be shown as not taken yet. So I'll show you that part as well. But if you scroll down, you'll be able to assign this to everyone, put a due date in. The due date will be the 9th. And then you can do the available from portion, which means that they can't see this until that day. Or you can close it out completely after this day so that they can't go back and click it. It doesn't really matter though, because the due date will still allow you to see that they did it late, because it'll come up as blue in the grade book. But once you hit save, it'll take you into this page right here. Once it loads in, that is. And this page will already have the title for you set up. And then you're going to click the plus sign. That plus sign will give you all these different categories. For me, for my attendance, I use Hotspot. And the reason I use Hotspot is because I'm going to create a picture that I upload. Now, every Hotspot doesn't need to have instructions, and it doesn't need to have a question title, but the add question stem, you do have to put in each and every time, which is kind of obnoxious, but it is what it is. So I'm going to put in, please select the box to prove you are present. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have to figure out some sort of image. So I'm going to go to my Microsoft Word. I'm just going to do something very, very simple, like insert in a text box. And I'm just going to draw that text box 100%. And we'll get something that looks like this. If you want, you can change up the borders to make it a little bit nicer. You can do that by paying attention to over here. You can change the colors of everything. You can change the weight of it so that it's a thicker border. You can change if it's dashed or if it's sketched, whatever you want to do. I think I used this one just to add a little bit of flair. And then I also did a fill of like a greenish color. Make sure it's a little bit brighter so you can actually see the letterings. After that, I did a text fill, which they give you plenty of options for, and then you just have to type it in. Again, making sure everything is relatively large so people can see. So I would type in like, please select inside the green box. Once I have all that, I'll center it by doing Command E, which will put it nice in the middle of the box. But more importantly, the next step is probably the most crucial, because I need to make an image out of this. Well, in order for me to make an image, if you hold Command Shift and then click 4, you'll receive this little crosshair. And that cross arrow will allow you to click, drag it all the way down, and then anything that is inside this shaded box that you can see will be turned into an image once you let go. So I'm going to let go, and then usually if you have your sound up, you'll hear a camera. You'll see it in the bottom right hand corner like you did for me right there, and then you can go to your, most likely on your desktop, and you'll see that is right on your desktop. The next thing, I'm going to make sure that my Chrome is on my desktop view, because all you have to do is either browse or drag and drop. Personally, I like to drag and drop. It makes things a little bit easier, but if you don't like doing that, I completely understand. But once you have it in, this is your image. It says please select inside the green box. You now have to create the hotspot, which means you go up into the top left corner, click, and kind of like how you took the picture of the image, you are going to drag it across the entire screen, and make sure that when you end up finishing, you can let go, and the entire screen should have that blue shading over it. Once you do all that, you hit done. And now I can go back into making this a big screen. And that is it. All they have to do now is just log in and click and then submit. So to kind of show you what you would have to do, I'm going to return. I'm going to set this, make sure that it's published. But I'm going to go in as my own student. So I'm going to go into Student View just to make sure everything works. I'm going to go into my quizzes. For me, I personally have it set up in my modules, but I click on that assignment. It will open up. It'll say begin. I click begin. And then you will be able to just click right there. And notice it will give you a nice little target. That shows the student where they clicked. As long as it's inside the green box, we're all good. I'm then going to hit submit. And they're going to say, are you sure you want to submit? I'm going to click submit once more. And then they have officially shown that they have done an assignment, which means that they are now marked present in your class. So hopefully your kids can just jump on in and log in and do all that stuff. But since this has a due date, we can now jump out of Student View, and I can go straight into my grades portion. And you'll see that I do have a test student, which obviously is what I just did. And you'll see that you'll get a check mark right here. If that check mark is not there, you can see it. There are these different types of ways. You can have excused, you can have ungraded. If it's an X, that means that they logged into it, they just didn't click anything because it wasn't complete and they hit submit. So technically, they're present if you see an X. The only time they will be considered not present would be if you see that little dash mark that you can see on these two sides. That means that they haven't turned it in. That means that they haven't opened it. That means they haven't done anything with it. So unless they're on your teams, you keep them marked absent. I hope that helps out a lot of people for everything. If you have any more questions, feel free to email me. My email is dveiga, that is DVEIGA, at madison-schools.com. Feel free to let me know if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Thank you so much. Have a great day.